Hello, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk about interviews. Obviously, there's a million and one people on the job search right now, and how you performing during your interviews is going to end up getting you a job that you hate. I understand we all need a job right now, but there are a whole lot of jobs that are probably in better alignment with you that you can absolutely get, but you've got to be yourself. And anywho, I'm going to share some tips on what worked for me, how I ended up getting my job, and what I've seen work for some other people. So, stick around if that's interesting to you. If you don't know, my name is Alexis. I'm posting every single day. Check the track record. I think today's 19. Yeah, we're going for a minimum of 100 days, but hopefully a full 365. I think I accidentally said 360 in another video, but full 365. So yeah, hop on the train early if you're interested in career stuff, career pivots, job search tips, travel, navigating big life changes, all the above. So, yeah, so when it comes to interviews, I think the traditional advice is to be yourself, but be yourself in a way that's in alignment with the company, right? So for instance, there's always tell us about yourself, tell us about your strengths and your weaknesses, and there's specific tips and tweaks and whatnot to your answers that like interview coaches or people on YouTube or whatever will tell you. And here's what I will say. There's definitely merit to those tips, but um you not being your authentic self, and again, this is within reason. If you're applying for like a very corporate role, maybe don't cuss. There are certain things that you probably shouldn't talk about, but there are a lot of aspects of ourselves that we leave out while we're job searching because we just want the job. um and again, there's merit for that. We all need a paycheck. So if you just need a paycheck, get a job. If you have a little bit of leeway, if you have a little bit of a runway, it would probably be better in the long run to interview in such a way where you know that your future boss, your future coworkers, whoever, are in alignment with you. And I'll give you some examples. So a lot of people, specifically women, will avoid talking about the fact that they have kids, and there's good reason for that because studies have shown that when women say they have kids, they're viewed as being distracted. Whereas when men talk about having kids, employers are more likely to think that they're motivated to do their job, right? Extremely discriminatory, but it is what it is. That's the world we live in. Now, question: as a mother, I am not a mother, but as a mother, if you are one, would you rather work somewhere where you feel like you can't tell your boss, hey, something came up with my kid, they're sick, can I have the day off? Or my husband, whoever, can't pick up the kids, can I get off 10 minutes early so I can pick them up? Do you want to have to hide that from your boss, or do you want to be able to say, hey, Susie, you've seen a picture of them, just got sick today, can I take half the day off? And your boss is like, yeah, take the time, block off your calendar, it's fine, right? Do you want to work somewhere where every time you have to get on a meeting with your coworkers, you're like dreading it because your personalities don't align? There might be an age difference, a difference in interests, or just personality types, right? Like there are a lot of reasons you might not like your coworkers. Do you want to go to a job like that, or do you want to have a job where like on your lunch breaks you can kiki with your coworkers and you can talk about whatever the shared interests are or whatever? Which one is more appealing? And I say this because when I was in my job search, there were a lot of things that I mentioned right off the bat that ended up making it much easier for my employer to tell if I was the right person for them, but it also made it easier for me to tell if they were the right company for me. And I'll give you a huge example. So, a big thing for me is my ministry. I'm very, very active in my ministry. And that's something that I brought up in every single one of my interviews, even if it wasn't like a long conversation, there's always to tell me about yourself. And I would mention, hey, I am XYZ. This is how I spend a lot of my time each month. And then I would go into, my job stuff. In addition to like, some other personal things. But that's something that I very specifically mentioned. And when I mentioned that to the hiring manager at the company that I'm at now, they were excited about that. They were like, "Oh wow, that must be really cool. That must be what an interesting way to grow up." I've met people in that have a similar religious background, and really enjoyed them as people. Da da da. That told me a lot. That told me a lot. And then also, I was very honest when they asked me, like, why do you want to work here? Like, what is motivating you to work? I think that's one of the questions where you have a lot of opportunity to be very honest. And again, they're evaluating you, but you're also evaluating them as a company. So one of the things I told uh actually all I think yeah all four of the companies that I ended up getting offers from was, look, I'm moving out of my parents' house. I'm moving across the country. I have very little safety net, and I know that I need to work hard to get this job. And I personally would rather have my toes on Twitter than than have to move back in with my parents. And I will say also, interviewing for sales roles, it's great because they tend to be a little more casual, a little more fun. And having some personality helps. So I feel like in a lot of ways, my answer to that question specifically got me a lot of points with all of the managers that I talked to. Um, but yeah, I think it's so important for us to remember that, like, while yes, you're the one in the hot seat per se, you also want to make sure that this company is right for you. And the way that the recruiter, the hiring manager, the different people on what would have been my future team responded to some of my answers told me a lot and made it extremely easy, like extremely, extremely easy for me to turn down the other offers, because the job that I ended up taking, those people fit exactly what I wanted. That's why I've been here a year and a half. That's why I have no intention of changing companies anytime soon. I really like my coworkers. I really like my boss. We actually just changed bosses. I really like her so far. Um, I really like the company culture. Like, anytime I have scheduled time off, if they see me on Slack, I will get a message immediately like, what are you doing? Why are you working? Turn your laptop off. Like, they do not play. They do not play about time off. They don't play about family emergencies. They treat me like a person with other things to do outside of work. And a lot of that has to well, a lot of the reason that I joined this company is because those were things that I learned throughout the interview process. And even before the interview process, I talked to a few people before applying. Excuse me, before like putting in my application and everything. So, I say all this to say that I would like fewer of us to be performing during our interviews. Now, of course, as I've said, it's an interview, so you want to make sure that like your skills are on point and that sort of thing. But be yourself. If you have a dry sense of humor, express your dry sense of humor. If you have very specific moral values, feel free to express them within reason. Within reason. Um yeah, there's I think there are a lot of things that we hide when just like being open about it will probably be better for us in the long run. And again, that's kind of the beauty of being in sales. And I didn't even know this when I first started my career pivot, that like, oh, this is like a thing in sales. It's something that I learned along the way. But specifically in a sales role, like I said, having some personality gives you points. Having personal values, having things that you do outside of work really benefits you because it makes you more relatable to the people you sell to. And being human is a big part of the sales process. I think way back when the caricature of a salesman was like sticking their foot in the door while they're trying to sell you a vacuum or like some Tupperware or something. And that's not how sales is these days. Sales is very humane, or at least it should be. And yeah, people sell from other people. So wanted to make a video today. Just, I don't know. I feel like the last couple of days I've been talking a lot about myself, and I wanted to make a video today, kind of helping other people. Because again, I know a lot of us are in this job search. A lot of people are struggling to find jobs, and that's part of the reason I started this channel too. Is like I want other people to be able to experience what I have experienced and the beauty of being in tech sales if this is something that you want to move into, or maybe it's a different career pivot, but whatever. Life is hard enough. I don't want our jobs to be something. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I'm sorry. I don't want our jobs to be something that adds to the level of like stress and chaos that we already have going on in our individual lives and in the world overall. So that's my little 2 cents. I will be back with more. I don't know if it's going to be career advice. This is the end of the video, by the way. I'm just yapping. I don't know how many of y'all are still here, but I'm not sure if tomorrow I'm going to talk more career stuff or if it's going to be like travel and life stuff. I don't know. Today was a weird one because I was feeling really uninspired. And I know I've mentioned like having a list of topics that I've wanted to get through, and for some reason a lot of them just weren't resonating with me, and I think it's because I didn't want to talk so much about myself. I wanted this to be a video that's helpful in a more direct way rather than like some of my other videos where I am talking about my own personal experience and then people are getting something from my personal experience, if that makes sense. I don't know. Let me know if y'all like this video though. I have a million and one video topics for the job search process, and specifically because this is what I have experience in is pivoting to a tech sales role. Yeah, so if that's something you're interested in, I am going to continue talking about it because I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. Yeah. So again, if you don't know, my name is Alexis. I'm posting every single day. Check my track record. Today is day 19. Um, so yeah, have a good day, everyone, and hop on this train early. Hop on it early. We're going to at minimum 100 days, but the ultimate goal, is at least a full 365. So again, if you're interested in career stuff, moving into tech sales, breaking into tech, uh, navigating big life changes, traveling, solo traveling, facing your fears, all the things. Anyway, yeah, join us here. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.